Senator Muir.
Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President. This is not my first speech, but hopefully that's the last time you'll hear that until after the 2016 election. Road safety is an issue that is close to the hearts of the motoring enthusiast community and, of course, the community abroad. And I rise to speak on this important issue. We all want to survive the drive. We want our families, our friends, our workmates to survive on our roads. And the sad fact is, road trauma continues to touch many Australian families every day, every week. We cannot ignore the fact that despite our efforts, 25 people still die on our roads every week, and 600 people are seriously injured every week. Road trauma costs the Australian economy $27 billion every year. $27 billion. This is equivalent to 18% of the health expenditure and 1.8% of GDP. If there is one budget cost we all want to cut, it is the cost of road trauma. Imagine what we could do if we slashed $2 billion, $5 billion, or even better, $27 billion from our budget through the elimination of road deaths and injuries. We could fix a budget, not by cutting the benefits of those less fortunate, but by cutting the cost of road trauma, an initiative I believe the majority of our colleagues would support. Whilst it is true there has been a reduction in the road toll over the past decade, a fact that we can all be proud of as a nation, the sad fact is the number of serious injuries has not reduced and in fact is increasing. We believe this is not being adequately addressed in the National Road Safety Strategy, and an urgent focus needs to be placed on creating a responsible culture of drivers on our road. Otherwise, the aim to reduce our road toll and serious injuries by 30% by 2020 will be nothing more than a pipe dream. It is concerning Australia's overall road safety ranking continues to fall compared to other OECD countries. Australia currently ranks number 16 of 33 countries, lagging behind even Mexico when it comes to road safety outcomes. This ongoing trend cannot be ignored. While speaking of road trauma, I would also like to mention the fatalities and injuries associated with Australia's road transport industry. An industry without which Australia would not survive, but an industry which consistently records an average of more than one death on our roads every single week. An industry which sees 28 workers injured every single working day. An industry which has been acknowledged as being 15 times more dangerous than the second most dangerous occupation in Australia. An industry where employees commence work each day knowing they could potentially become yet another statistic of our appalling road safety record, yet where transport drivers are only at fault in 6% of multiple vehicle accidents. Progress in road safety is generally measured in terms of a reduction in fatality rates. Whilst no one could argue that a reduction in the road toll is important, that is only one part of the equation. We cannot continue to ignore the fact that our road safety strategy is not working to reduce the number of accidents and serious injuries on our roads. We have seen a decline in our road toll, mainly due to improvements in vehicle safety and advancement in the way emergency services manage trauma at the accident scene. Much focus has been placed on surviving the accident. However, very little focus has been placed on avoiding the accident in the first place. We need to be doing both if we want to see better results. It is critical to our community that the government recognises vehicle ANCAP ratings and vehicle standards. Whilst they play an important role in road safety, do not lessen the chance of vehicles being involved in crashes. It is a secondary control that determines chance of survival only once a crash has already occurred. A vehicle with the latest 5-star ANCAP rating and a 1960s classic vehicle have the same road safety outcome if they are not involved in an accident. Considering motoring enthusiasts are underrepresented in accidents, yet traditionally drive vehicles with little or no safety features, sends a strong message that driver attitude and driver awareness play a big part in reducing accidents. The last thing enthusiasts want to do is hurt their vehicles, so the majority drive accordingly. It is far more effective to avoid crashes in the first place by adopting lower risk driving techniques, and in this regard, motoring enthusiasts aim to be recognised as the leaders in safe driving practice. Without a stronger focus in the National Road Safety Strategy towards safer drivers, we will continue to fall behind other OECD nations. This leads me to discuss a subject very close to my heart and the Motoring Enthusiast Party. that of driver education. A vehicle is generally not autonomous in its operation. It does not move without a driver, yet little credibility is placed on the value of driver education as a way to improve road safety and reduce trauma. It has been disappointing to see whenever this subject of better driver education is raised, it is instantly dismissed by many in the road safety sector. It would appear this thinking has its roots in statements such as, even the most competent driver will make mistakes. So the focus has been on a lessening of driver interaction through the introduction of even smarter vehicles in an effort to reduce the risk. Whilst it is true that all drivers can make mistakes, educated drivers, aware drivers, have the ability to manage correct those mistakes, and most importantly, can often anticipate the mistakes of other drivers. This fact should not be dismissed. Over 99% of crashes involve some degree of driver error. Driver decisions in the moments leading up to a crash can, in most cases, prevent or reduce the severity. Creating better drivers by implementing systems based on driver competency rather than our punishment-based system of driver compliance will lead to a better road experience that is safer for us all. While vehicle technology, road design and road conditions have improved in leaps and bounds over the last 40 years, and speed limits have continued to be reduced, little has been achieved in promoting the concept of driver training to prevent crashes from occurring. We need to focus on producing better drivers. Competent and informed drivers make better decisions behind the wheel. It is time to break down the old myths that have long plagued driver education. It is time to challenge the way we look at things, to see what else is possible, to work towards better outcomes for road safety. In our ever-changing environment, and with meaningful driver education programs, our ability to adapt, to think differently, will put us in good standing for better road safety outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.